Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everybody. We are so happy you are here today. We meet here, right here on this screen, the fourth Saturday of every month. And you guys clearly know that. So that is a wonderful thing. We have wonderful features today. We have an open mic. If you would like to sign up, you just put it in the chat. And I think Chip told you a little bit about what Poetry Street is. We're hoping at some point to reopen a face-to-face venue, but we have decided to be cautious and wait until after the fall, so we find out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
In the meantime, and even after, we will be right here, and we are so happy to share this afternoon, this beautiful afternoon with you. And I believe I will introduce our first feature now. Bernard Hicks is a Bronx native, and his poetry has been inspired by being raised in the unique urban neighborhoods of Harlem in the 1980s.
Wow.
That means he's very young.
Exactly
Bernard is
right.
a recent and very valued addition to our Poetry Street community. He's an avid reader and writer, and he likes to think of poetry as a gift to humanity. And also the soul of our nature and the language of the arts. And we are so happy to have him with us for the first time. Bernard Hicks, let's hear it. Unmute.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful reading, Maggie. And if you look up the word humble, I think you're going to see my face right there in the dictionary. So I'm very humble and gracious for having me. And I am really, truly looking forward to my first ever poetry feature reading. First ever. So with that, I am truly humble and gracious for you. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Okay. I'm gonna start with a poem about a beverage the world knows and loves, sometimes with passion. The title, My Morning Coffee. At the break of dawn, here comes my morning yawn. I stretch my arms up really high as I yearn to get a cup of coffee by my side. The aroma of fresh brewing coffee waking up my senses, drip by drip by drip. My nerves start twitching, unrelentless. Could it be the peaking rays of the morning sun or the dropping temperature of the morning cold? Add sugar, creamer, and stir. My morning coffee process has me sold. The power of the first sip, like the emotion of a first kiss, like finding a genie in a bottle and being granted your one wish. Hazelnut, caramel, espresso, and vanilla, light and sweet or straight black bitter, piping hot or ice cold brew, sipping with my pinky finger in the air, trying to look cool. Over 2 billion cups drink every day. I got quite a few under my belt. I can drink comfortably in a crowded cafe or in solitude, alone, by myself. I'm assuming my coffee loves me with the affection of an emotional hug. It speaks to me in my language, perfect temperature in my favorite mug. I know it seems I intimately know my coffee, like we're bonded in lifelong ties. I just feel a lot better every morning with my coffee by my side. Thank you. The next 3 poems, I'm taking you on a political journey as seen through my political lens. My first poem, The Protest 2020. Protest, as they say, is the voiceless speaking and shouting out, marching for better results, demanding change come about. In our communities, we are allowed to loot, allowed to shoot. As long as it's against each other, they won't send out the troops. Our mothers of the past watched while her sons were hanged. Our mothers of today watch while her sons are introduced into gangs. We need all the OGs to let the young people see that killing ourselves over colors is not what our ancestors wanted to see. Racism, sexism, and police brutality, we loudly cry out. Equality for one and all, and the demand of justice, we clearly show. I introduce a new ism to our lexicon, childism, which is children lost in our midst, men having children, but acting as if they don't even exist. Our kids have a right to protest against fathers who don't seem to care. They have a right to be angry and raise their fists in the air. Freedom, justice, and equality usually starts at home, not in the streets where some kids are forced to roam. Broke or rich, our kids deserve the gift of our history being passed down so they understand our history makes us rich. Each one teach one, each one help one. My daughters are your daughters, your sons are my sons. True unity will start when communities realize, even though the street lights are on, we're still in the dark. Our communities were always allowed to be burned to the ground while everyone screamed fire. Inside the White House, they never heard a sound. As some politicians giggle from afar, like chirping birds perched in the tree, hoping we never find a way to their nest as they look for more ways to extend their greed. I'm going to end on this note, on us all saying this oath. I will give love and leadership, and I will get out and vote. Thank you. This poem was written with thoughts if I was able to have a one-on-one sit down with a politician before I voted. If I was able to ask questions that required a pause before being answered. I really wish I could give a dose of sodium pentothal, AKA truth serum, before questioning, and then let the fun, the truth, begin. Questions are for answers, as thoughts are to ideas. Truisms are to truths, the truth to be revered. What would happen if all the rain would stop falling from the sky? Who would then get the biggest piece of the pie? Would you get your fair share, or will you be breathing your last breath of fresh air? If there were no more fish to fry, no more cake to bake, would they come by and offer you hope, or tell you from afar, go jump in that lake? If no more plants could grow, and no new people to know, would they bring you new soil and new seeds to sow? What would happen if there were no more jobs and life for you and your family got really, really hard and you reached your hand out for help, but was told to go find someone to rob? What if we were told to fight against one another? Sister fighting sister, brother fighting brother. Will we recognize beneath the color of our skin, our blood is all the same color? What if you couldn't afford shelter, had no protection from the sun's scorching rays and the bitterness of pending winter? Would they offer you a place to stay, a place of peace and comfort until you are able to be on your way? What if you couldn't take away your pain, your arms and legs not moving the same? Will they toss you aside because there's nothing left from you to gain? What if we were all told the truth? Will we still believe the lies? Will we now not know what to believe? Would everything we were promised be pie in the sky? If given a chance at open honesty, would they make truth-telling their personal policy to help you in your quest to be all you can be? If given a chance to be human, would humanity leave their soul? Would it be self-evident as their true self was showed? As you think to yourself, how could they be so bold? Don't let your God-given rights be taken. Your pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness will be tested. Let your voices and votes count, so your ancestors' march for freedom will not be wasted. Thank you. I wrote this poem for the common people of this world seeking justice from their judicial system. I wrote this poem for those who are seeking justice, for people wronged by powerful and influential people. I wrote this poem for those who loudly cry out as justice slips through their hands. like sand. The scales of justice. The son was taken into custody, accused of giving excessive heat. Scorched earth being the evidence, a charge surely impossible to beat. The son began trial as the stars sat on the jury, acquitted of excessive use of heat, the moon being a powerful attorney. The sun rises relieved. The heat in the courtroom intensifies. The planets and the gallery gasp as they can't believe justice just turned a blind eye. The reporting birds fly out to tweet the outcome as the newspapers of nature await the news. The sun rises and shines the next day to a chorus of resounding boos. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My next poem can be considered my health PSA announcement. The title, Hypertension, Shh, the Silent Assassin. Hypertension, AKA high blood pressure, a silent and deadly assassin, will sneak up on you in many different ways. You may not feel it, but believe it is attacking. Hypertension often hangs with his partner diabetes. They prey on the greedy. They want you to say, feed me, and eat junk for hours in front of the TV. Hypertension, this stealthy individual, stalking us at Super Bowls, Thanksgivings, and festivals, urging us to eat every calorie we see, till we look down one day and can't see our feet. Hypertension, watch it as it tiptoes and creeps, sneaky, but not as sneaky as it thinks. It does want you to ignore obvious warning signs it's coming. It surely wants you to look away or blink. Hypertension, that formidable foe, someone we should surely live without. It gives you all kind of problems like heart disease, kidney issues, and gout. Hypertension, not a menacing term, doesn't sound as deadly as it is. Sounds like something you would attribute to a hyperactive kid. Hypertension, there are ways to beat it. In fact, many times it has been defeated. It's going to take awareness, education, and due diligence. It may not be easy. Trust your doctors. It will all make sense. Hypertension, not friends of vegetables, fruits, and nuts. It doesn't want you to shrink your gut. It wants you to eat with a fork in each hand, but you can defeat it with a healthy food plan. Hypertension, we can get rid of it with exercise, nutrition, and regular visits to your doctor. We can take our health into our own hands, and we can live long and prosper. Beat hypertension. My last poem of this segment, thank you, takes you on the court with me as a basketball referee. The title of this poem, I Love This Game. As I enter into the park, the bulls start to rain, and I'm saying to myself, geesh, they can't even wait for the start of the game? But no worries, I say to myself, there's no fear and I'm the man. But looking at the size of these two teams, I better have a solid game plan. Hey ref, somebody yells out, how are your eyes today? Did you bring your seeing eye dog with you in case you missed the plays? The crowd burst out in laughter, of course, at my expense. Should I say something back? But of course, that wouldn't make sense. Someone else yells at me, a corny ref joke. To that one, I want to reply, but I just shake my head and keep it moving. Not time to show my comical side. My partner and I meet and greet the coach and get a look of disdain and receive words of mistrust. We look at each other and leave. Was he talking to us? Sorry. We meet the other coach and she seems elated, but gives us a stern warning. Bad calls from you two will not be tolerated. The sound of our whistle, sharp, piercing, and loud, a sound loud enough to be heard over a ruckus and menacing crowd. One call here, another call there. From each side of the court, we get the coach's death stare. Come on, ref, a player yells. How can you make that call? The way he went up in the air, he was bound to fall. The game starts and ends, and my partner and I shake hands, and I try to walk out the park without looking into the stands. Loud chants of boo to the ref is what I clearly hear. You made our team lose the game and we're angry. I look up to see who is doing all this yelling, and I can't believe it's my own friends and family. Still, I love this game. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone unmute so we can give Bernard a great round of applause. Great job, Bernard.
Bernard, it's a real honor and a pleasure to have you with us.
Great job. Great job.
Let's hear it loud and clear.
Very awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, you have been christened.
Wait 1 second, Maggie. I had to mute everyone again, so I muted you as well, so I need to unmute you again.
Oh.
Okay, you're good,
I'm
Maggie.
unmuted. Oh, okay. All right, we're I know that we have somebody coming in to read, but that will be after the next feature, correct?
Yeah.
And one thing, I'm not sure we mentioned that after the open mic, the features will come back and read yet another poem. So our next feature is a good friend of poets everywhere, and certainly of ours, Dee Spungin. Oh, I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm afraid. Spungin is the author of Tomorrow Smells Invisible, which was published by Words with Wings Press in 2020. Dee hosts poetry events in Nassau County and for the Performance Poets Association on Long Island. She's an award-winning poet. She's published in many anthologies and journals, both online and in print on Long Island and off. Some of her poems have been set to music by the New York composer Julie Mandel. She's one of those wonderful, wonderful poets who you see wherever you go for a poetry reading. And we are so lucky to have her with us today. Please help me welcome Dee Spungin.
And you know what? Before Dee comes on, Dee Spungin comes on, I like to mention that she wrote this incredible book, Tomorrow Smells Invisible. And Dee, if you would just tell us a little bit about your book and then start your reading.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you both, Chip, Maggie, for inviting me to read. I am so excited to be reading to this group of incredible people, all of you. I mean, this has been an experience. And I hate to say that there's anything good about a pandemic, but if it allowed me to become part of you, bless that part of it. As far as my book is concerned, I'll tell you just a bit more about that later, if I may.
Yes.
And I would like to thank you for allowing me to read with the one and only Bernard Hicks. That was fabulous. No, I mean that.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I'm going to begin with a poem that some of you heard just a week or so ago at Jones Beach. Celebrating Yellow. I'm celebrating yellow. Buttercups, bananas, lemons, sunshine, margarine, plastic cups on cans of pledge. Because yellow translates well into joy and summer. And bees are yellow, canaries too. Caution signs remind me even happy colors require some thought. So I stop and measure the length of a laugh, the song of a finch, the delight of a child's first foray into lemon jello, smiley faces on homework. If I have offended red or blue or purple, white or black or green, it's just a breath, fresh air, neutral territory, my foot on ground untainted by meaning. I need a break from pointing, shouting, accusing, defaming, blaming. I need a yellow petal. It loves me or loves me not. It leaves me alone. Thanks. This is a poem called Whisper, and it has an epigraph by poet Ad de Guide, for it can be over in a whisper. Another moon down at sunup, mark the calendar well. This day, as a river, will never pass our way again. This pebble that I toss, never to return. This, the moment I know. This breath, the one I understand. Beyond now, a stand of mysteries. Embouchure to lips, what music sounds. Whale song circles my feet. Dare I move outside, breathe different air? The light begins to fade before I unpack my bags. Ideas fill the attic. I clean cobwebs, scramble for a pen. Gaze out the cracked window, see the blaze of orange-pink ball of day rolling down. Another sundown at moonrise. I am a pebble returning on the river. Thanks. Until you walk. He walks, more a shuffle, down the street paved with gold intentions, landed long ago, both feet jumping for joy, expectations, what he heard over there. This land overflowing, come and get it, happiness, money in your pocket, perfection within reach. He walks, less astride, down streets littered, broken dreams spilled, sidewalks telling stories, failures sprawled out in doorways, curses and cries commingling, taxis refusing to stop. This is the promised land. This is the golden world. Sing of the freedom, sing of the joy. This is the wonderland. This is the better day. This is deliverance. This is the law. He walks in his broken shoes. Flower talk. Sometimes I find myself in a field of flowers, just wondering what they're thinking. I walk through the field from flower to flower, trying to overhear their conversations. I might find a bunch of wildflowers, looser tongued than roses. They might just let me in. I laugh at the thought, flowers conversing, petal to petal, leaf to leaf, as if they were praying. I'd bow down with them. Oh, dearest field of flowers, you let me in. I listen. I wish we could remain like this together, making plans. We'd lift our heads to gentle rain and share the purity of peace, petal to hand. Thanks. Thank you. According to someone's plan. This should be our best year. Best in italics or quotes or something to designate a lie upcoming. This should be another warning sign. The shoulds are on the march, battle lines drawn. We're drawn out of the den of protection, a plague on all our houses. And we emerge turtle-like. But this is our best year ahead, so they say. They, in quotes or italics, signaling another lie. Some signals must be heeded, like the cough during the plague. Remember dying? Remember almost dying? Remember praying? Remember the fear? Who out there is still so ignorant? No vaccine in my arm. Said in quotes or italics, another moment of disbelief. Aren't we tired of a world bent over in pain? Thank you. Okay, here's a warning because this is a very long poem for me. And I read it once because it's a long poem, but I'm gonna subject you to it. It's called Reflection In, and it's a reflection of my own thoughts. Womb dark and warm. This isolation calms me. Behind closed doors, I dare not open my eyes, fearing a light, intruder, usurper of protection. Voices cannot find me here, my deafness intact. There is room for an occasional early butterfly wiggling through a chink in knotty wood thrown up. My nails dug in tight, not even wind gets in. I wonder at the caterpillar's cunning to go from crawl to flight. The long legs of wispy clouds descend. No rain tonight, although I'd welcome that song. No wrong turns, no room for decisions. Comfort only this dark place of no business, no thinking, no turning around. Some babe in the depths of her mother turning to face the expected exit. No, I remain still and haunted. Wait for silence without, within, a signal that it's safe to emerge that will never come. Safety is a friend long gone. I shred the news, some cat's litter at best. Do not talk of this world, it tires me. I seek sleep while fearing it. We have been robbed of peace. All the little wars have worn us out. We are almost beyond homecoming. Parades echo emptily in the streets, and who would believe them anyway? Turn over if I cannot turn around. A blanket of fairy tales over my head. There are better ways to spend a day. Remember the trees in bloom, the promises made and broken. You get to be oak hard and tone deaf. All the music falls down, notes tumbling aimlessly. A sweet word is a lie that chokes the sun. This page does nothing new. Letters creep above my head, turn into empty rain. Thank you. And those letters appear in this next poem called Defrosting the Letters, which I read here in April. After so much time, letters forget how to spell. The spell has been cast, and the die. We are all in training for death. I lift weights, waiting for the weight to be lifted. It hasn't happened yet. I begin to doubt the existence of joy. At the darkest moment, glimmers of light appear, and the letters begin to form words, the words, lines of poems I thought had died with hope. Life only takes a minute, and I cram everything I control into a sandwich baggie, seal it, store it in the freezer. When I need that ammunition, I'll thaw the bag, seek the answers. Foolish hope, you just keep coming back for more. And the last three poems are from the book, Tomorrow Smells Invisible, which took me almost a lifetime to finally put together. And the catalyst for having this put together was my late brother. We knew that he was limited time, and I wanted him to have the book. And he got the book, and he read it, and we talked about it. And there's a poem I'm going to read after the next one for him. It's not a themed book. There are 4 sections of the stuff that I just wanted in here. So I chose to read the next poem because of Chip's opening about our being on stolen land. And it's called "And Men Shall Learn," with an epigraph by Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce tribe back in 1877, after a major defeat in a war. And he said, "I will fight no more forever, and men shall learn." It's the cloven hoof beating its breast, the ever-rotating heart of the peach, a rogue's gallery of eminent domain, thoughts ground under an oncoming train. Whistle stop, memories in fog, lifelike portraits of the favored arranged in papery green. Turn of the century, business complete, the final A on term papers framed, hanging beside unearned diplomas. Gardens host a brilliance of bees, audience enraptured, a buzz, and the shears get busy, final flowers in tandem with dust. The sun boldly rakes the wall, shouts heard through a window, necks craned toward the sound. We stand, blind obedience. The sugar king arrives, pouring. Hats off, hearts severed from their stems. Twisted apple cord to the beginning of time. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. An echo of the plan, barely remembered. Chief Joseph crying. Thank you. So, speaking of crying, this is the poem that I wrote for my brother. Reminding, by the way, his anniversary is today, tomorrow. This is the weekend, so it's a year. Reminding my brother about that kitten. We named her Kathleen Kitty Cat, a lifetime between then and now. The contrast, her life so brief, my memory persisting. You and I still share the stories. The kitten gone too long to merit this testament, yet here it is, a portrait unwilling to fade, and you, dear brother, practicing age, teaching me grace. I listen and wonder if I'm learning. Dear kitten that bore the name we invented, taught us love and heartbreak. Dear life, teaching me heartbreak daily now. This aging moves me one way only, but I fight to keep the lesson of love. Let it counteract the heartache I feel making its way. That kitten lives on, as you, dear brother, or I, one never knows the future, learn the grace of letting go. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks. I'm going to finish with a poem for my husband, who is sitting here very patiently. He's heard it before, some of you may. It's called Unless Ice. No matter where you are, I will climb mountains, chase rainbows, wolf at the door, nothing too steep or thick or strong or mean or frightening, no matter when or how old or cold or hot or wet or wild or yesterday or tomorrow, on Earth or Saturn or Jupiter, in sickness or in health, unless ice, no, even ice. Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. This poem was dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Diallo, Amadou Diallo's parents. It's called A Loss of a Son. I dare not say I know how you must feel. For us, it's a tragedy, but for you, it's so real. I'm sorry that I can't comfort your sorrow of knowing that your son Amadou won't be here tomorrow. Today, we cry out loud for justice for a crime that was fueled with unjustified malice. Will it ever end, or must we all die before God pays attention to our desperate cry? We as a people have been oppressed for far so long, treated like dirt by people who think our color is wrong. Just when we think we finally get a break, they smite us down again and again. No, they don't hesitate. It's like the judiciary system has gone completely insane, which only makes me realize that although some things have changed, there are just too many things that have remained the same. And again today, we as a people are still in immeasurable pain. Sure, we can all hope for a better future, as no one knows what tomorrow will hold. But I won't fool myself into thinking that after generations of hatred that they break their racist mold. But for how long will we have to live and fight those who think they're better than us because their skin is white? I hate the thought of being shot down because of the color of my skin, but I will always remember that's the hard reality all Black men and women are in. We will continue to march, protest, and shout to let the world know that it's justice and equality we're about. No, we won't all die in the fight, but we will all suffer. Some of us may lose a brother, a sister, a mother, some a father. You lost a son, innocent of a crime, and his killers were set free. I fear that if justice is not sought now, then tomorrow it could be me. Thank you very much. And I would like to introduce you to Queen Mother, Dr. Dolores Blakely.
Thank you.
Hi, Queen Mother.
Yes, hello, how are you?
Good. And could you just tell us a little bit about the things that you do at the United Nations before you read your poem?
Well, this is my 52 years as a humanitarian at the United Nations, and I have dealt a lot with young people, grooming the future and the presence, because some of them now are running for office all over the planet Earth, and they see the world differently. So for me now, intergeneration relationship with the young people. Uh, International, which we talk about multi-ethnic, multicultural, a relationship with young people in the tradition and in the culture, in innovation. And now Queen Mother is in the midst of fighting against predatory lending and mortgage fraud, starting with myself and taking up this as one of my fights. Everyone have a right to shelter, have a right to food, and the right to be closed from the elements of life. And so with that, Queen Mother is very busy, as I'm sure that all of your participants and your colleagues are on the front, on the Zoom participating, as I hear them talk about their way of life through, I call, the spoken word. And so I just enjoyed hearing the spoken word from some of the participants. Thank you.
Thank you. And are you going to read a poem today?
Yes, a book that came out yesterday, and it was written, one of my books written, and it's called Reflection During COVID-19 2020. And yes, I would like to read some of the reflections. Young people say the spoken word. And as the Queen Mother of hip hop, they are enjoying it and they have it set to music, this body of work during COVID-19 2020. Let me begin in the spirit of my ancestors that I will bring this forward to the to our peers. This one is Cry for My Mother, dedicated to George Floyd. Mama, 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 mama dear, mother, where are you? Can you hear me? I can't breathe. You are the closest thing to me. I cry and pray for you to hear me. Breathing in and out, my last breath that is being choked, snatched, robbed, and stolen from me. Hide me in your womb, which is eternal. Your womb that shelter me with love and protection. A womb that allowed me to survive and live. A womb that kept, nourished, and cared for me throughout the natural born days of my life. I need you for God's sake. Hang in the balance of life or death. Mama, ma dear, mother. I love and honor you. I can't breathe. Shield and protect me as I lay in your belly. Your divine and sacred womb. Your womb allowing me to flourish and grow. And a hiding place that is my destiny for all eternity. Oh, mama, ma dear, mama, I can't breathe. I call on you to surrender me in justice and peace. Save me. Oh God. Another piece that I want to share with you that has been set to music by the hip hop generation of young people. No, not a one. No, not a one. Not a one. No, not a one. Stay on the sacred path. Hold unto God, or that force greater than yourself. No, not a one. Not a one will save me. Not a one will defend me. Not a one will care for me. Not a one will acknowledge me. Not a one will understand me. Not a one will nurture me. Not a one will shelter me. Not a one will cry for me. Not a one will embrace me. Not a one will say, stay with me. No, not a one. Not a one will stay with me. No, 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 not a one. Only depend on you, the Most High, the Creator, the Divine One, and whatever name I may whisper, and the name that I may know and may not never know, that force greater than myself. You, only you. Oh, Most High, hear me and move me from no, not a one. Not a one. No, not a one.
Wow. Thank you so much, Queen Mother.
Wow.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to ask everyone to unmute and please give Dee Dee Spungin a round of applause, and Queen Mother a round of applause, and Mr. Hicks, Mr. Bernard Hicks, first time reading at Poetry Street and first time on featuring ever. Let's give him a round of applause.
Wonderful.
And-
If I can just add to that, it's just an honor to be here this afternoon and hear all of you beautiful poets, Dee Dee, Bernard, and Queen Mother.
Thank you so much. I'm just so happy to have you on, Queen Mother, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing here for us in the United States as well as those in Africa.
And thank you, but there is, my energy is always sacred with three. So Mother's asking, can she give you another short reflection?
Oh, absolutely. I
And
wouldn't want to disturb
short,
your
I must
the divine order.
Yeah, it's in
Yes.
divine order.
Yes,
And
go right
my
ahead.
sacred energy is three.
Okay.
Duality. Oh God, Most High, in a world that is filled with complexities that one must accept as a puzzle, in the scheme of things, one will be denounced and escaping as I trod through the path of existence that I must embrace with a will to understand gravity and perplexity await me. In the duality that I face daily, that await me and never end, oh great teacher, show me the learning curve of growth, good, bad, right, wrong, day, night, in, out, up, down, left, right, health, sickness, knowing, ignorance, sufficient, need, strength, weakness, happiness, sadness, yes, no, forward, backward, east, west, north, south, rich, poor, love, hate, life, death. Oh God, I am emerged in the human condition. Please, God, detach me from the ways of human beings. O Most High, creator of all things, the giver of all life, hear my prayer. Shape me, mold me, and rid me of duality as I seek and strive for your perfection. O perfect, powerful, and mighty one, all is well. All is well with my soul. All is well, duality.
Thank you so much, Queen Mother. Thank you for all three of those. And again, we thank our feature poets, Bernard Hicks and Dee Dee Spungin. And now we will start our open mic. The rules of the open mic is simply that you have 3 minutes for your whole presentation and have fun. And welcome to Poetry Street. The first person on the open mic will be our founder, one of our founders, Susan Dingle. She is amazing. She deserted us here in New York for Washington State, and let's bring on Susan Dingle. Susan, if you would please unmute.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you. Wonderful features. This is great. I want to observe the Poetry Street protocol of no introductions, but I'm reading a poem by a dear friend of mine whose name is Avijit Chatterjee, and he is a voice who has not been heard. We first met in 1963 when he was an exchange student from India at my school in Baltimore. He died a couple of years ago, but I never knew he wrote poetry until a mutual friend told me that he wrote a poem each year for the birthday of his daughter, Anouk. Anouk has given me permission to read one of her father's poems today, and it's so appropriate to be read at the Room Without a Roof, where every voice is heard.
Yes.
This is On a Journey by Avijit Chatterjee. On a Journey. The young woman has an invisible hand, clutching her fingers firmly with a distant emotion, guiding her hand through the grimy traffic and the bustling, restless multitudes, a powerful defense against the dark forces. This hand of the ancestors is a legacy of the family filled with rich experience that is sometimes headstrong, sometimes cautious, displaying all the emotions of the living and the sensibilities of centuries. On the great voyage, there will always be a helmsman for the moonless night, when the winter winds are on their mischievous rampage, with the jagged lunges of the silvery energy, raising starkness to a lonely frenzy. Feel the warm caress of the old hand. It was written for the birthday of Anouk Chatterjee on October 11th, 2001. Thank you all for being here to witness.
Thank you so much, Susan. And now our other founder, Mr. Bubby Brown, Robert A. Bubby Brown, if you could please unmute. Is that microphone? Is that red? It's a red microphone. You just need to unmute it. It's a microphone with a line through it. All right, Bubby, you there? Okay, we're gonna come back to Bubby. Looks like he's having a bit of a problem. Bubby, it's just your mute button. No one's there to help you? Okay, we can't hear you. We're gonna go with Bill Batcher, and we'll come back to you, Bubby. Try to figure out how to unmute yourself. Bill, if you could unmute, please.
Okay.
Bill, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this wonderful poet, Mr. Bill Batcher.
Thank you, Chip.
You're welcome.
Moraine. Walking the beach, Long Island's North Shore, I step between boulders the size of file cabinets, around cobbles and stones, and over mounds of pebbles, the colors of garnet, ruby, emerald. And not one of them is native. All are invasive species, pushed here 18 millennia ago from their New England birthplaces. And I wonder, what glacial event of destiny deposited me here? Thank you.
You know, you never cease to amaze me. Your poetry is just so fun all the time. Okay, I think we have Bubby now. Bubby, can you hear me? No, you're still muted, Bubby. Can you ask Mint to unmute you? Okay, Bubby, we can't get you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and I know he has some wonderful poetry, but hopefully we'll get him soon. Okay, next lady I want to bring on. Okay, do that again, Bubby. I think you unmuted. Press that button again. No. There you go, Bubby. Bubby, can you hear me? No. Okay, still can't get you. I'm sorry, Bubby. We can't get you. Try the other phone. You're on here twice. Try the other one. Okay, we're gonna go with this lady. She is the busiest, meaning busy to mean write a lot. She writes every single day, a poem a day for the last 15 years. Her name is J.R. Turek, my friend. I think I'm gonna call her the Purple Poet. Judy, if you would please unmute.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Chip and Maggie, for hosting. Thank you, Bernard. Oh, a first read. I'm so proud of you. And thank you, Doreen. I have 2 poems today. Just debating. You know, Doreen, you're giving me the courage. I wrote a poem for my brother that I've never read.
Oh.
And it's in, I'm celebrating my new book, 24 and 24. That's 24 poems in 24 hours. And so this was from hour 3. Thank you, Doreen, for inspiring me. You are gone. I know this, accept this, but sometimes when I wake up at 3 in the morning, I think it is noon and that it was all a dream, a nightmare. A Hollywood script read line by line, the knife, gun, chainsaw, just a prop. The pool of blood, watered down ketchup. The closing notes, a familiar top 10 hit. Still awake at 4, I realized there was no blood, no weapon, no music, no dream, just the nightmare truth that you are gone. And quickly into the next brand new poem that I've also never read. Prerequisite. I write because the words I harbor inside had barbs that slice me open for release. I write because my garden needs weeding, editing out broken canes of the rose bush we bought when we were still speaking, and cut flowers imprisoned in vases die so quick. I write because I can, and sometimes because I just can't. I write because I cannot change the color of tomorrow, cannot delete the things I didn't do yesterday. History is ravenous and steals the crumbs of undone tasks I hate wanting to do. I write because my clock face has a passionate veneer. Regret masticates my day, eats my wishes like the dog who stole the roast from the dinner table, but the dog is satisfied and unrepentant. I am not. I write because once you leave, you need to return, and there are places I've never been.
Nobody downstairs.
I write because fear glints off the lake like a tarnished mirror, and I can't stop looking deeper and harder for a reflection of you, gone so long, so far. I write because I've been snubbed by my muse so many times, and I need him, love him, can't write without him, and I can't lose him too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy, and sorry for the distraction. It appears that we may have Bubby Brown now. That was beautiful, Judy. Thank you so much. Bubby, are you there? I heard you. Now I don't see you. Okay. Oh, this is a nice little game. We should play this some other time. Okay. Jack Zafros, I'm going to ask you to read, and Bubby, I'm going to mute you again, and if you figure out how to unmute, then just unmute and be quiet because someone's probably reading. Okay, so we're going to go with you.
He was just talking to you. He just came to you.
Okay, Bubby, is Bubby there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Yay! Thank goodness. Okay, Bubby Brown, everyone, the founder, one of the founders of Poetry Street. Bubby Brown, we love you, Bubby.
I love this. I love the job you guys are doing with Poetry Street. How you keep coming up with these wonderful poets that I enjoy. Okay, I'm not wasting my time. A hung nation. A hung nation. As an American Black man, though slavery, they say, is past, a stigma still lurks among us. A lasting die is cast. So I can honestly tell you, nostalgic freedom songs were sung. Can't you feel the noose tightening? America is being hung. The noose is loss of basic rights, freedom to speak your mind. Big Brother says you're a national threat, and steel bars, you're behind. This land that welcomed everyone, no matter your motherland, a chance to start a brand new game, to be dealt a fresh new hand. But it seems that once arriving here, the playing field has bumps. Players aren't equal in this game, and big man holds all the trumps. The hanging of this country comes not from me or you, but from the compromised leaders and policies they put through. The personal gains they implement, the lining of their pockets, by interest they say they have in natural resources, by selling guns and rockets, by sending innocent boys and girls where American soldiers roam, while hell is tearing things apart at their doorstep right at home. The noose is choking everyone who had to sweat and toil to grow a nation whose citizens' feet step on God-given freedom's soil. The noose is fear embedded in us to question everyone we see, especially those with accents and don't look just like me. In this multicolored blanket, where all should be treated equal, a brand new attitude must be raised, because frightening is the sequel. The time is now to burn the rope, investigate and check the folk you put in office. Get the noose from around your neck.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bubby, and I'm so glad that we got you on. And
I'm glad to be there.
I have to leave soon, but I want the next person to be Nina Yavelle. I'm sorry, Jack, and you'll be right after Nina, okay? Nina Ubell is on Poetry Street, on the film Poetry Street on the Road, which can be viewed on our website, poetrystreetontheroad.com. Nina Ubell.
I am so happy to be here. Really wonderful poetry, always. And thank you, Chip. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
I'm just working on a poem, so this is kind of unedited, but I'll read it. I'll take a chance. Has no title yet. In the summer house, the ceiling fans turn wide and cool. The black maple hangs in the window. The breeze shivers through its musculature, the languid shining leaves. I lie on a single bed, resting from the day's work, turning the earth, pulling weeds. I steady the wild rosebuds, the wild rosebush, then rest. While my heart beats to a rhythm I hear in another room. A room that just this moment revealed itself. Voices come up from the long hallways, but the words are secret. And the rising heat clouds the passage. I dream of nothing having just arrived at these gates. My senses sated, desire has cooled. I know you are present, drawing in the sweet air, looking out over the afternoon grass, the swaying trees, thinking of nothing important. Maybe a fragment of last year passes through your memory, a fleeting obsession with the polished objects you dream of holding, slate, onyx, ivory. Perhaps you will think of my longing in the distance. Remember me, a wild rose pulled up from your own rocky soil, knowing that the gardens now weeded could thrive.
Nina, that's such depth. Thank you for sharing that. Adam Fisher, if you would please unmute and read for us.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question first.
Yes.
Is using the F word permissible here?
Well, go ahead, Maggie.
Well, I was going to say absolutely, but you may have been going to say something else. As long as it's used appropriately, Adam.
Okay, okay.
And thanks for asking the question.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
It's called It Was Bound to Happen. Once again, it is here. Hatred of Jews, acceptable for some, fashionable for others. The hate from the right is old stuff. Hitler didn't complete the job. Jews killed Christ. Jews own the banks. The left's hate is the same, but newly phrased as Israel has no right to exist. They call us imposters, whether as Americans or in Israel. They call us swindlers, cheating ordinary people. Fuck them all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next person is Evelyn. Evelyn, I had the opportunity to see her at Jones Beach. It was an event sponsored by, I'm not sure if it's sponsored by Judy Turek, J.R. Turek invited me, and I was so happy to see Evelyn there. And also she won an award recently. Evelyn, if you could unmute yourself and tell us about the award and the event and your book, and then read your poem.
Oh, thank you, Chip. And you know, I have to apologize. I was looking around and I saw people's faces and like I met them someplace. Where did I meet them? So if I didn't greet you appropriately, I apologize. I have a mind like a poof.
Here's a big hug to you.
Oh, thank you. Right back.
All right.
Okay. The award is quite an incredible one, and I'm very touched. And hardly know that I really deserve it. But it is because I served during the Korean War as a Marine. And there is a woman's military memorial in Washington, D.C. And 2 weeks ago, I think, the president of the memorial came and presented me with a proclamation as a living legend. It makes me feel like I'm about 400 years old, but for the time that I spent in the Marines, because I was in public relations and I was in recruiting duty, so the fact that I was reaching out, so wow. So yeah, that was my award. I don't have a new book. I'm working on one, but I do have a poem from the Corona book that was put out by Walt Whitman, and it was edited by, whoops, going blank here again. Sorry, Gail Teller.
Okay.
And this was my poem in the book. Pandemic musing. And so it came to pass, I grew old in this time of forced contemplation. Without proper preparation, the mirror tells its daily story of past joys and losses, each etched into a reflected face. Unlike this sadly lined visage, the days pass smoothly. Nothing divides time into difference. The lonely hours flow without event, except when rain taps softly on glass doors. It signals another predictable day. I watch glistening drops, watch my changing moods. Most of us hardly notice when it rains, but today, large amounts of water appear as unique, separate, individual. If I were brave enough to venture out into the rushing waterfall, perhaps it would soften the hard surface of my life.
Wow. Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Thank you. You're welcome. Nice to be on.
Oh,
Nice
yes,
to be
yes.
on.
And now for the most patient man on this call, Jack Zaffros. I tell you, I've skipped over him twice, and I'm so sorry for that. So let's bring him on right now. Jack Zaffros. You're going to have to unmute.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks for the features. And it's great. Okay, so I'm going to read a poem from my latest book, Lyrics from a Singing Stream. This is called, Is This True? Is this true? Do you whisper secrets in my ear with such gentleness as a lover or a trusted friend from a time eternal? Are you saying there will be a puzzle? Are you saying there'll be puzzle pieces presented as surprise gifts not asked for? Sometimes I don't see this because I'm hungry for the whole thing, and I give up on the raindrops that caress the skin. Is this true? Do you murmur through a stream and show and hide, and show and hide, and show and hide, and touch me with your gentle dew?
Oh, so nice, so nice. Thank you so much for that. Sue.
I have one other.
Oh, you do? Okay, go right ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yes. Opening. Open up the doors of the gates of many waters, the many rushing ways of the one, driving humanity, driving the multitude of nights and lights. The vastness unfettered by the worn boundaries, now expanding of the limits, as the ocean spanks the shore with blows of love, and the new permeable borders now welcome sweet songs that long to be sung.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much. And again, thanks again for your patience.
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Sue from California, if you would please unmute and tell us exactly where you're from.
I'm from California, a little town called Shingle Springs. That's between Sacramento and South Lake Tahoe along Highway 50.
Great. Well, welcome to Poetry Street.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be reading a poem that I've self-published 5 different poetry books, and this comes from one of them, called Midsummer Night's Dream. On my back in cool, tall grass on midsummer nights, watching stars flicker then glow, and see the night birds in flight. A full moon smiles down with its golden glow. Welcome summer breezes move meadow grasses from upright to dancing to and fro. I can hear the crickets playing their summer tune, perhaps the throaty croak of the frog on the pond frog, or a splash of the resident turtle leaving its log. Stilted legs of a loon from the dancing pond water swirls, silhouette in moon's beam. How can I leave this summer night's dream?
Oh, wow. That was nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I do have one little tiny one. If you
Yes, go right ahead.
This is just in regards to the gentleman, Bernard, when he wrote about his coffee. This is called Kick It Up a Notch.
Right.
I need a better coffee, something with more kickstart. Mine just isn't cutting it. While I stood in the coffee aisle, scanning the brands that are available, the label's name jumped right at me. FedEx Ground, coffee with the world's fastest delivery. I can't wait to get it home.
See, Bernard, you see what you started? You started something great there. I'm not mad at you. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to go to Karen. Karen, if you would please read for us, if you could unmute. Thank you. Still need you to unmute, Karen.
You came on so suddenly. I was elsewhere.
Oh, no, where you were having a cup of coffee, weren't you?
Yeah, I need some right now. I have a poem called Alchemy, and hopefully it'll be a part of a chapbook that I'm working on. They stood next to each other in this old photograph, separated by inches, exactly the same from top to bottom, as if tailor-made by an invisible marker. They looked straight at the camera, smiling and proud, in their best clothes, waiting for a celebration. This is how I remember them, side by side, never touching, at least never seen by me. At home, even their beds were narrow twins with a night table and 2 lamps between, a bedroom for roommates, not a long married couple. My grandfather, tall and slim, handsome with a shock of white hair. Grandma at his side, short and round, never at a loss for words in Yiddish or any other language she could muster. They seem to have lived in 2 separate worlds while together in one. There was some rumor their marriage was an arrangement. It may have been so, but they appeared to be content. Whatever they had, it was more than they bargained for, at a time when there was no way of knowing what lies ahead when you cross an ocean as wide as the Atlantic. But here they stand, posed together, as inexplicable as if they landed on Mars, flung from some dying planet to a place they could never imagine, where a sideways glance and grit could turn dross to gold or an ordinary stone to something like marble.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Sasha, would you like to read, please? I need you to unmute. Sasha, you could unmute, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can. Okay. How do you say your last name?
This is like being on another planet. It's so wonderful. The poetry is just amazingly wonderful. So I'll just read this. It's called The Art of Wasting a Day, and it's from my book of Zuihitsu poetry, Echoes of Light and Dark. The Art of Wasting a Day. Clouds crouch along the rim of sky. I spend the morning daydreaming. Is daydreaming dangerous? Perhaps the cure is not to dream less, but to dream more, like Proust, while sipping a cup of linden flower tea and eating an exquisite madeleine, or Montaigne sitting in his tower, musing over how to live and how to die. And I have lived. I've been a rebellious woman, journeyed through a museum of dalliances, said no, sometimes said yes, and sometimes said nothing at all. I've made my life seaworthy, one river at a time, and the complications and contradictions need to be the complications and contradictions. One day I will home myself like an old woman, taking Sisyphus steps, but for now, I sit beneath the mountain, knowing only the mountain will remain. Come with me. Together we'll daydream the innocent hours of an empty afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sasha. And I love your artwork.
Thank you.
It's quite beautiful. Okay, Iris, if you would tell us where you're from and read your poem, if you can unmute, please.
Hi, I'm Iris Levin. I'm from Rockville Center, New York. And I'm just so pleased to be here and to listen to all this wonderful, wonderful poetry. My poem is called Empty House. Wind rattled the for sale sign as I entered for the last time what had been their home. In this empty house, silence blanketed each room like sheets of fog, heavy with gloom. I wandered in silence, picked through the remains, bits and pieces of their 60 years together. I took their photo, and the leftovers were dropped in a garbage bag left at the curb. I walked away, my silence wet with tears.
Thank you so much, Iris.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, we're getting down to Herb. Herb Gunmar.
Hello.
Hi, Herb.
How you doing, Chip? Okay, I have a poem for my late wife, Lorinda. Late at night, drinking beer and listening to music with our mutual friend, Jim, July 2002. He had just separated from his wife and was unscrolling all the flaws she had that brought that about. It all made me think of you. I realized how often I would complain about this or that little thing I wished you would do. Then your guardian angel slapped me upside my head. That rattled my adult thoughts and feelings into a reality I hadn't seen before. I thought about my failing vision, and it made me see other ways I had failed to see your love and goodness in its entirety. My own better angel had me take paper and pen to unscroll what I hadn't seen even with formerly perfect vision. Better than perfect vision. Wife, mother, lover, worker, lady, friend. You're older, grayer, bones crack when you bend. Yet somehow now you're lovelier to me. It's true, my eyes aren't what they used to be, but perfect vision never let me see those daily deeds of love that never end. Wife, mother, lover, worker, lady, friend. Thank you.
What a nice tribute to your wife. That was so nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now I'm going to reintroduce you to wonderful, talented, award-winning Maggie Bloomfield.
Thank you. Thank you. And I too have a love poem, which is kind of uncharacteristic of me. This is called Note to You in Case You Forgot. I am your guitar. You play me each day as surely as you played a day in the life of a fool on the road years ago, and I melted into the body of you. became your instrument of love and torture. I live inside acoustic genius. It is my shelter and my prison, my shining hour, my mean to me. I am your guitar. Your graceful fingers riff on me daily. Some days music as mundane as the whir of the washing machine, the argument over toothpaste, the blue or green of the towels. Other days, you go to my head, sensual as Billy on a good, bad night. I want to lie down and have your fingers strum me till I sweat. I am your guitar. There are hairline cracks in my aging body. I have required repair from time to time, but the resonance remains, deepens. I season with you.
Bravo, 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 Maggie. That was brilliant. Wonderful, wonderful. So Maggie, do you want to bring the features back now? Wait a minute, Mike G, did you want to read? He's on the phone.
No.
Okay, all right. So Maggie, do you want to bring the features back?
I would love to bring the features back. First, I would like to thank them and thank everybody who read at the open mic. What a brilliant bunch of wonderful, wonderful poets we have on the island and all over the country who could join us now. It's just Zoom rocks.
Yes,
so I'm going to ask Bernard to come back and read another poem. Bernard Hicks.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for, this has been a truly eventful evening. Thank you, Chip, and thank you, Maggie, for my first poetic feature. And thank you, Judy Turek, for your poetic hospitality and giving me the red carpet into this world. As you listen to this poem, close your eyes from time to time if you wish, and unleash your imagination. Digest the words and let them nourish your thoughts. The name of this poem, Imagine. Close your eyes and imagine it's snowing in the summer. Snowflakes drifting in the warm breeze. Picture making snow castles on the beach and never ever wanting to leave. Imagine the sun close enough to touch, but not hot enough to burn. Imagine a college education free to all, equal opportunity to learn. Picture holding a blue rose in one hand and a red rose in the other, both roses from the same lineage, recognizing their differences, not forgetting their brothers. What if we believe science over fiction, not fiction over facts, not money over love? In life, we see too much of that. The nature of our being, often contradicting what we're seeing, being influenced and not informed, questioning if our actions and values are in agreement. Me, myself, I like to give truth and reasoning with the force of a steel hand and a velvet glove, shattering norms like a bull in a china shop, doing it straight from the heart, showing nothing but love. I always try to help my people, but sometimes they scare me. What if I don't have enough to give? The wrath can be scary. If we had a local Bank of Nigeria, would the United States fear us? If we had a Bank of Ghana near our homes, and we can walk in for fast and easy loans. Being greeted friendly at the entrance door, not being rushed to abruptly show you the door. Giving you all the available options to explore. Giving you smiles you hadn't seen before. Our money being valued because it's our money we're spending. Not fearing predators in the hood, not fearing predatory lending. The truth is nature's law of justice, even though the truth is often on trial. Convoluted thoughts cloud up truisms, factual existence in a world of denial. Do you make a long story short or a short story long? Do you apologize for misdeeds or try to be wrong and strong? Looking at the microscopic view of tears, there are molecules of hurt, laughter, love, and joy, surrounded by atoms of anger and particles of passion, tears torn apart by years of sadness. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale the stress that your ancestors felt. Unlock the secrets they emotionally kept. Mentally search for the jewels they spiritually left. Does time wrinkle our skin, or is it caused by the tears we withhold within? Feeling the pain of the whip against your ancestor's skin. My soul keeps secret the time of my demise. My soul holds back tears as each day goes by. Thank you.
I'm a Bernard Hicks fan.
All right. And now back with an encore, the wonderful Dee Dee Spungin.
Yay!
Okay, just want to say that, Bernard, you are wonderful. An honor. I said that to you and I mean it. An honor to share the stage with you. Thank you. And to both of you, Chip and Maggie, thank you so much for the invitation to read. It's been quite a wonderful moment for me. And to the rest of you, your poetry here at this place is phenomenal. All of you have hearts of gold. I love you, all of you.
Love you, Doreen.
Thank you. One-way staircase. Steps vary. Hard stone steps trip you up. You cut your knee, you bleed. Escalators carry you weightless, free of worry, delivered unharmed. Fairy bridges float you in ecstasy. There are those moments. The Sophian cliffs refuse you, impose their will, restrict your movement, always back to the beginning. Plain old steps, one at a time, getting there, getting closer. But to what? The end, a mystery. Wear sturdy shoes, carry a map, a flashlight, a notebook and pencil. Keep your sense of adventure, your ability to roll with those punches you were told about. It was probably too late. Try to keep your sense of humor while refusing a sense of entitlement. Make the voyage a bit easier, the burden a bit lighter. Stop for water, stop to look around, stop to dream, but keep climbing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chip, you gonna read another poem?
I am not. I'm going to, I would like to ask Queen Mother if she wants to have anything else to say, or if she wants to close us out.
Queen Mother just wanted to say that it's been very moving for me to hear reflections that I call poem. And in the hip hop generation, we call it the spoken word. And I just want to share, I usually, as I said before, the sacred number for Queen Mother is still 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, right?
But Queen Mother will do 2 and give a shout out for 3. In this space, God, will you stay with me? God, will you hear me? God, will you listen to me? In a way that where no other will ever find my sacred space. Only we will dwell in peace and harmony. Only we will meet, communicate, and live with each other. In this sacred space that I hold so dear, God, will you dwell with me? God, will you hear me? God, will you listen to me? God, will you keep me? God, will you stay with me in this space that is holy, righteous, and just? God, will you be with me in this space to comfort, abide, and be with me in this space above all else, in this space. This is one that I dedicate this body of work, reflections during COVID-19, dedicated to victims, death, confront of the unaccountable numbers as I cry and wail, filled with grief. Save me from the coronavirus that plunged the world in deep sadness, in sadness that will spit out anger that is vicious, reckless, and wicked toward this unexplainable disease that plunged the universe and plagued the universe. A stench that smells like the bowels of hollow ground. Fertilizer covers the dust, molds into clay that sticks and remains for eternity or forever. Let not this pandemic threaten my fate. As your will be done, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, remain with me, my Redeemer, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Thank you.
In the spirit of my ancestors, I came forth with these reflections during COVID-19 2020.
Thank you. All right, well, we invite everyone to please check out our website, poetrystreetontheroad.com, for the complete bios of our featured poets, as well as the archived videos of past Poetry Street Zoom readings. We hope that everyone stays safe. Please get vaccinated if you're not already, and love each other. Thank you so much.
Very
and
much.
next
Thank
month
you.
at Poetry Street. Maggie, do we have an announcement of who's going to be here next month?
We have Barbara Ann Bronco and Robert Dean and an as yet unnamed third feature.
Yes. And once again, thank you so much, Doreen Spungin, Bernard Hicks, all of you on the open mic, Queen Mother, thank you so much. And again, love.
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 Love. Thank you all, and see you next month.
Love.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Judy, J.R. Turd.
Welcome, Queen Mother. Welcome all. It was so wonderful to be with you today.
Yes,
Thank
it was.
you.
Thank you, Queen Mother.
Dee Dee.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dee, and thank you, Bernard.
Thank you for
And
sharing.
everybody have a great weekend.
Everything's in order. Thank you.
Thanks, Bubby. Love you. Love you
Love
all.
you all. Love you all.
Back, Herb.
See you next
Tina, John, Larry. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Great job, Chip. Great job.
Bye. Thank you. You too, man. Awesome. Awesome.
Great work, Bernard.
I'm a Bernard fan. Yes, yes, yes. Good job. First time. Wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm really glad you featured Bernard. I mean, I've seen you read before, but I'm really, really glad you featured. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It was a wonderful afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Wine for everybody. Glass of Chardonnay for everybody.
Sounds good. Thanks again, everyone. Doreen.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.